Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting, right? You're like, you feel like you're right there. You have the best season you ever had. A
Yeah.
little bit of setback from injury, but then that just almost
Yeah.
snowballs the other way, right? Then you're finally able to get back. You show up, like,
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah, it's interesting. I think that last season that I did come back, like my heart wasn't fully in it. That fall,
interesting.
I was at a camp in Chile, and I remember I hurt my shin again there. And I'm just like, God damn, this is like the third time it's happened. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I was planning on going to Ruka that year. Like, I was on a good path, and I was like, okay, like now I'm sitting here leaving Chile again on crutches. And I left Chile, and actually Riley was a national team coach at that point. And before I got in the taxi, I was like, I'm done, dude. Like, adios,
Yeah.
like
Mm-hmm.
that's a career for me. And remember, I get home, and a few days later, he calls me, and he's like, dude, like, don't give up. Like,
Mm-hmm.
let's go through the proper rehab. Let's give it a shot. My parents call me, all of it. I get talked back into skiing.
Yeah.
And I was kind of already out in my
Okay.
head. But then I was like, all right, I'll give it one more real shot.
Okay.
So by the time I really came point in Kazakhstan where my leg's killing again and like I'm not at the level I was ready.
Yeah.
Like I was done,
Yeah.
you know. So I was pretty at peace with it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I remember I leave Kazakhstan, get home, fly through Russia, crazy travel day, masks, world shutting down. I drive to California to go on a surf trip. And I'm like talking to my brother, and I'm like, yeah, I'm done. I send in my official retirement email, and I was like, I'm going to go to Nationals. It's in Squaw Valley. I'll have a hell of a going away party, like one last hurrah.
Yep.
And I see the U.S. ski team like group chat going off of like, we have 20 hours to get back in the U.S.
Right.
Like, ever pack your shit. We're going
Right.
home.
From Idre. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm
Yeah.
sitting on the beach like, holy shit, what a time to retire. And yeah, I was totally at peace with it. Really didn't think much about coaching.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was going to go to school, everything, and then Troy Murphy was coaching Park City at the time, and I knew he was done, and I was like, it's actually a pretty good job to have. Like, while I go to school, I can make it work. So,
Yeah.
got in touch with them, got kind of a part-time job coaching, and then
Okay.
next thing I know, I fell in love with it, and
Yeah.
decided kind of after that next season I coached, worked with a lot of young athletes stuff, and was like, damn, I think I like this coaching aspect more than I did the competing.
Yeah.
And then dove headfirst into coaching.
That's awesome. So
Yeah.
what has that transition now as you come in, and obviously the success that you've had as a coach? I
Yeah.
mean, it's got to be pretty fun to go through and see all those different results. I mean, national champion, junior world champion, I've had World Cup athletes, top five. Like
Yeah.
it's pretty got to be pretty rewarding to see all those results. And I mean, what has that kind of learning experience been for you? And you're still young, and
Yeah. It's wild,
yeah,
right? Like the transition from athlete to coach is one of the more bizarre feelings that like I think is great for almost any athlete to learn.
mm-hmm.
You go from being the most selfish human
It's
to
true.
having to be the
And you have to
most.
be, right?
Yeah, you have to be. You
Yeah,
want to succeed, you look out for yourself.
right.
You put yourself above everything else. You got to.
Yeah,
And that's the hard truth of it. To a coach, all of a sudden, you have to be the most selfless human.
mm-hmm.
You got to put everyone before you. And that's the way it is. And it's what a bizarre experience,
Yeah,
you know?
mm-hmm.
To all of a sudden you have to be so selfless and so involved in everything's about them.
Mm-hmm.
And that transition is so awesome.
Yeah,
Like I look back on a lot of it and like the person I was when I competed and just everything is like yeah, it's what I had to do to succeed and stuff, but like looking back on it like I don't know if I liked that person, right? Where like you look from the outside back and you're like, "Damn, what a wild thing."
yeah,
Where being a coach now is like right, my success relies on how helpful I can be to help others succeed,
mm-hmm.
which is like wild.
Yeah,
Like I only succeed if the ones I help succeed.
right.
And that success is so different. Right? It's not my goals, not my ambitions anymore. it's not what I value as success, right? That success could be some kid making a final at junior nationals.
Right.
That could be some kid doing his first twister spread. That could be a kid making it to World Cup. And it's so different in the levels of how they value success and goals and ambition that like you really get to deal with it all.
Yeah.
It's not it's no longer like so singular in one path. You have so many different paths and avenues, and like you can celebrate multiple successes in one day. You can go to US selections and have, you know, a Kylie Cariotis get a jacket, and you can have a young kid do their first T to B ever in a FIS event.
Right.
And like some coaches might value it differently, but like I value those as huge successes. Both of those are massive wins. That's the incredible part of it, is the amount of different successes you get to experience and the amount of different failures. Right. And like you get to be a shoulder to lean on for a lot of failures, and hopefully you give the right guidance and advice that they learn from it and they become better from it.
Yeah.
And those failures don't haunt them, so to speak.
Yeah. No.
You know?
Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed that clip. You can click right here to see the entire episode. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks.